Assalamualaikum everyone, and welcome to Luna Classic video update for 23 October. Now, where are we and what are we gonna do next? I haven't really bought the coin just yet. You know, my buying plan remains down at that box. Okay, I would love to enter that green box right there. But we're looking at the RSI, and the RSI does look like a very good place to enter. But you know, we cannot have the whole trade only based on an RSI. Okay, the RSI is not good enough indicator. Of course, we're gonna have a little bit of a pop from the RSI. So if I do drag on the 4-hour time frame, if you look at this data ever since 2nd of October and today at 23, so this 20 days of data right there, you do have a pop probably coming in by 31 of October. So what is it gonna be? I don't know, man, but you can see that you're really getting squeezed on the RSI. You've been really oversold on the price chart patterns. Now I'm not saying if you try to pump up a little bit you're gonna go down. I do think you're gonna have that small relief next week, and we've talked about this 3 times in a row, that all I'm looking at is the weekly time frame. The weekly shows today's Sunday, by the way, and the scenario that I told you some few days ago, that is happening now. Talking about the weekly time frame, there's something quite important, and this could be the bottom. Okay, this could be the bottom, but if something like this happens, it's gonna be the bottom. Otherwise, what happens in the next 7 days is super important, because I'm gonna be honest with you, on the RSI you've bottomed out. Okay, on the RSI you've bottomed out. On the weekly you have a bullish engulfing candlestick. Now some people are gonna say, what about this technical target down there? That's in play, but then again, there's one speculation that I have to bring out there. Okay, and it all depends on what you do next week. The next 7 days are really important. Okay, this is one of those updates again where you're gonna have to pay a lot of attention, because 3 black crows are negative. They're meant to be negative, and due to that, I'm still expecting it. This is a technical target nonetheless. There's one pattern that I want to show you very quickly. I don't want to waste time, and that is 3 rising methods pattern, I guess. So if I show you this candlestick, you can see that this is what I'm looking forward to. Okay, this is what is in my brain. Like, you do have the 3 black crows, you have the 3 red candles, but if next week you somehow make a big huge green candle, then that's something. Okay, that's something to pay attention to. Now, even though again, it all depends on what happens in the next 7 days, but my take is that you just make a small push to 25,000 and then you continue lower to that green area right there. But I wouldn't, this is chart reading. I'm not telling anyone to buy, sell. I personally am still not buying. If I ever, you see, for me, I already told you a long time ago, I'm making these videos for like 3 months, I guess, and I was making these updates when we were down here. This was where I was telling people I'm entering. Okay, so for me, if for example it goes back up, these are my old investment going up. Okay, and speaking of accumulation, I'm looking to accumulate more if it comes down here. Do you get the point? For me, I'm not missing any step. If it goes back up, I'm okay. I'm still okay, because all the hard work was done right there. If it comes down here, I'm still okay to buy a little bit more in the future to go up. I'm here for the long term. You see, that's my strategy. How you trade is way different than what I might be telling you right here, right now. So it's something gonna have to pay attention to. So let's bring in the EMAs. And the last time you came to the 10 EMA, you can see the only support you have is at the 10 EMA. So the last time you came at the 10 EMA, you made that huge green candle. Again, you're at the 10 EMA. Could there be chances of going back up like this next week? Maybe if you do something like that, that would be incredible. Really incredible. And then from here you try to make some patterns, you break out of the patterns, and then you push even a little bit higher. So that's one. This is speculation, no confirmation at all. Now we're gonna have to wait and see what happens in the next 7 days. Maybe if it's something you want to buy, you could even put a stop loss. Maybe if you say, hey, I want to trade this one, let's help you out. Maybe a stop loss down at 22,371. That can be 3.3% risk. All right, pretty amazing. Or maybe you can just wait for a small break to the upside, enter at the retest here. Whatever happens, it's in your luck. Whatever happens, that's one thing you can do with a stop loss and trade in such a way. This is how you manage your trades. And if you want to just have signals, I do have signals in my Discord channel as well. Now at the moment, unfortunately, I do see a pattern here on the daily, because we're gonna have to go step by step. So look at this sideways movement that the coin has created itself. So that actually shows more interest to drop from there to there, and we're actually looking to come down to 2-1-4-4 unless we don't break out of here. Okay, so this is the latest update that I can talk about. So by the way, don't put a stop loss down here, because we're still looking to come down to 21,000. There's a target at 20,000 as well. So that's what I'm looking forward to. The next technical target is actually 20,000, which is still pending actually. Okay, that technical target is still pending. You see, we cannot base the whole TA just on the RSI. Just because the RSI touched the floor doesn't mean you can base your whole TA. Of course, it's gonna mean something if you start to break this trend line for the very first time ever since 10 of October. So if we break out of it, backtest, this is where I could actually say in the updates like, hey, maybe it's a good idea to enter here. But right now, I'm still on the sideways until there's no confirmation. And that's the difference between beginners and people who are experienced, is that we wait for confirmation. We wait for a break. We wait for a retest, and then enter the retest and live the rest on the luck side of it. Okay, if that makes any sense. So bringing in the 4-hour time frame, that's where I'm looking at things right now. So what I'm gonna do is just remove that thing right over there, this one right over here as well. So if you look at the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame is where you confirm things at the moment. So the 4-hour time frame shows a very clear downtrend, a very clear resistance. So this one being the first touch, the second touch, the third one right there, the fourth one, the fifth one. If you try to go back up, you can actually go again here to be rejected, and then go down to 21,000, go up again, be rejected, and then continue to 20,000. Okay, now this is what I'm trying to say, that if you try to break this resistance, that's going to be a break for the first time in a long time, and we want to see a bullish closing up to 25, maybe 25,000, and come back to 23,000 and continue sideways. But I do see a small relief next week. I mean, next week we can have a small green candle, maybe to 25, maybe to 24. I don't know. Sunday hasn't really closed just yet. But if today you go to 21,000, then you're going to be trading between 23 and 21 next week, right over there in that range, before you don't continue even lower. So my take is the following. Okay, I've already told you some few scenarios, like for example, 3 rising method. It really depends if you make that big green candle next week, which cannot be predicted at the moment unless it happens. And one more thing is, you see 3 black crows is another issue. So 3 black crows right there is one thing. So there's a little bit of confusion. You might be confused as what's going on. So this is the image that I want to show you. So 3 red candles, a little bit of a green arrow, and then go down. So that's another, which is my favorite pick right now, because you do have technical targets to the downside. So it doesn't really make sense to pump from here, but anything goes, right? So come down, make a little bit of that green candle, and that could be a huge bear flag on the daily. And if that bear flag plays out, then you might be looking for a technical target from there to there, which nearly now takes you down to that 14,000 range, which is our technical target, which is my favorite bull scenario. But I just want to give you a heads up that, hey, if we make one huge green candle, then there's something to look at. And if you don't want to miss that thing, if we ever try to break out of this resistance, then that's where you might start to be cautious of a move to the upside. Okay, if we start to break out of that resistance, back test it, I would like to take an entry at the back test and put a small risk reward, maybe risk 2% of an entry, and then boom, continue higher. So that's pretty much it for this Luna Classic. Hope that makes sense. Let's see what happens. Too much suspense at the moment. Really a lot of suspense right now, but I'm still on the sideline, not touching anything unless there's no confirmation. And that's pretty much it for this Luna Classic update. I'm going to see you in the next one. Allah Hafiz.